If you have ever lit a stick of Tibetan incense in a dimly lit room, closed your eyes to the low chant of sutras, your idea of meditation probably looks something like this. Forcing yourself to sit cross-legged, making mudras, suppressing every single thought, and even roaring at yourself in your mind. Shh, I'm meditating. Turn off the voices in my head. But what if I told you that the vast majority of people haven't even found the right door to this ancient wisdom? Actually, in the ancient tantras of Tibetan Buddhism, when the essence of meditation is stripped of all its mystical forms, only one word remains: awareness, Rigpa. It is not a stagnant pool of water, but simply observation, watching your thoughts arise, watching your fear spread. That is all. So why do so many people feel that meditation is harder than climbing to heaven? Because they fall into two karmic traps that even seasoned practitioners easily get lost in. The first trap is forcing the cessation of thought. Let's do an experiment. Right now, I want you to absolutely, under no circumstances, think of a steaming, stringy slice of hot pizza. What happens? The more you try to suppress it, the wilder the monkey mind becomes. From the perspective of Vajrayana, Tantric Buddhism, the very knife you use to try and cut off your thoughts is itself the greatest delusion. The second trap is craving meditative bliss, chasing a state of extreme floating ecstasy. You desperately seek emptiness and peace, perhaps even trying to see bizarre visions while sitting. But the ancient masters warned us long ago. The more deliberately you grasp at that holy sense of relaxation, the faster it will vanish, just like the cold morning mist on the plateau. Since both of these paths are dead ends, where is the true secret passage to liberation? To uncover this secret, I want to tell you about a true experience that nearly drove me mad and almost dragged me into hell. I was born deep in the snow-capped Himalayas, where the gods reside. There the starry sky is within reach, and mystical monasteries dot the landscape. Yet, my childhood was a nightmare entangled in past life karma. Panic attacks, like some invisible evil spirit, bit fiercely into my shadow. I was terrified of strangers, too scared to even leave the house. Whenever a blizzard howled through the mountains and thunderstorms ripped across the sky, I would tremble all over, feeling as though angry Dharma protectors were passing judgment on me. It wasn't until I was 9 years old that my father, a Mahasiddha, a highly realized tantric master, said something that completely shattered my understanding. Never draw your sword against your panic, and never try to drive it away. If I didn't drive out this demon, how was I supposed to survive? My father pointed to the peaks of the snow mountains and said, "Your awareness is like that eternal, unchanging sky above, and your panic is merely the dark clouds rolling over the mountains. No matter how fierce the storm, can it destroy the sky? The sky is always there, silent, all-embracing, and pure." This was the first secret my master imparted to me. Step 1. Cultivating the mind through an object, the practice of shamatha. You don't have to fight your inner demons to the death. You can relax your body, close your eyes, and listen to the hum of an ancient singing bowl, sound of a singing bowl struck. When your ears and your consciousness anchor onto this frequency, you are meditating. At that moment, even if 10 pizzas flash through your mind, or panic strikes again like a wild beast, it doesn't matter. Watch them come and watch them go. Doesn't that sound easy? I thought so too, but I was far too naive, because deep in the snowy plateau, an ancient phantom far more terrifying than panic was waiting for me. At the age of 13, in the Yerpa caves of Tibet, I was sent into a brutally strict traditional retreat. 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. In that isolated rock cave, there was nothing but a flickering butter lamp. I thought this would sever my root flaws, but by the second month, a true disaster struck. My laziness and the panic within the darkness joined forces, transforming into the most terrifying inner demon, Mara. Life in the cave instantly became a living hell. In the gloom, I desperately wanted to run away like a madman, but the thought of the boasting I had done to my childhood friends made me fear losing face as a practitioner. With no way to retreat and nearly 3 years of endless dark nights ahead of me, I was pushed to the absolute edge of a mental breakdown. It was exactly this inescapable despair that forced me to unlock the second step, which is the ultimate esoteric teaching passed down by the great female deity of Tibetan Buddhism, Machig Labdrön. Machig Labdrön is the founder of the practice of chod, severance. She taught practitioners not to slay demons, but to blow the bone flute and actively feed their own flesh, blood, and fear to the monsters. Since I couldn't escape, I decided to emulate her and make the panic itself the object of my observation. Just as you are no longer in the water when you stand on the bank watching the raging Yarlung Changpo River, when you take a step back and gaze at the panic like a bystander, you are no longer in the panic. A miracle happened. Under the glaring light of awareness, this fanged, clawed monster of panic suddenly revealed its true form. It shattered. It was nothing more than a tightness in the chest, a terrifying illusion in the mind, a phantom sound. If you pull out these building blocks, the panic disappears. It was like an icicle on the Himalayas, looking razor sharp, but the moment the sunlight of awareness hits it, it instantly melts into a phantom of nothingness. Because of this discovery, I achieved ultimate acceptance. I didn't conquer the demon, I embraced it. A few weeks later, the panic completely vanished. In that empty cave, I even began to miss this friend who had once driven me to a dead end. After leaving the retreat, it was as if I had unlocked cheat codes. I wrote bestsellers, gave teachings everywhere, accepted countless disciples, and even donned gorgeous robes to become the abbot of several monasteries. But the wheel of karma never stops turning. Just as I was being worshipped by multitudes and thought myself enlightened, a true life and death tribulation was quietly waiting for me at the center of the world. Because of the high praise I received, a deadly poison known as mana, extreme arrogance, began to breed in my heart. To sever this most stubborn, poisonous vine that year, I decided to adopt the oldest and most dangerous ascetic practice in Tibet: wandering and begging. I tore off my magnificent robes, abandoned my comfortable meditation room, money, status, and thousands of followers. As a beggar at the absolute bottom of society, I walked on foot toward the center of the universe in the hearts of Tibetan believers, the ultimate pilgrimage site, Mount Kailash. A few weeks later, my money ran out. As I struggled over the most dangerous part of the Kora circumambulation route, the Drolma La Pass, an altitude of 5,630 meters, which in Tibetan Buddhism serves as a metaphor for death and rebirth, I completely collapsed. Having eaten cold leftovers while begging along the way, severe food poisoning, coupled with deadly altitude sickness, swallowed me whole. I was violently vomiting and suffering from diarrhea, lying face down in the freezing snow of Mount Kailash like a dead dog. My body temperature was dropping, my vision went dark, and the howling wind in my ears felt like the Grim Reaper's countdown. I said to myself in my heart, "It's over. I have entered the bardo, the transitional state between death and rebirth. This time, I am truly going to die at the foot of the sacred mountain." In those few hours when the candle of my life was about to be extinguished, I played the final card of my spiritual journey. This is the ultimate esoteric teaching I want to reveal to you. Step 3. Open awareness of the indivisibility of clarity and emptiness. In that vast sea of snow, I stopped listening to the singing bowls, stopped observing the panic, and severed all clinging to life and death. I let my consciousness become like the peak of Mount Kailash before me, freezing, naked, and immovably steadfast. I let the sky simply be the sky. I let the void merge into the void. In that dying, incredibly weak moment, my inner self erupted with an unprecedented, dazzling clarity. It transcended life and death, transcended fear, achieving absolute freedom. Fortunately, my karma was not yet exhausted. The sacred mountain accepted me, and I survived. When I opened my eyes again at the Drolmala Pass, this world, which had been full of mud and the threat of death, was completely transformed. The gravel path that nearly killed me had become a sacred mandala. Every random mani stone by the roadside radiated the dim light of compassion. Even a gust of wind, mixed with ice and snow brushing against my face, felt like a divine initiation, causing an indescribable ecstasy to well up in my heart. I've shared so many hidden experiences, from subduing demons in a rock cave to nearing death at the sacred mountain. But ultimately, I just want to hand you this key, hidden deep within the tantras. The highest level of meditation actually requires you to do nothing. Simply just be. When you no longer obsess over cutting away your troubles and stop desperately looking outward for peace, guess what? That ancient, mystical, and indestructible freedom has actually been waiting for you at the bottom of your heart since long before you were even born.